who got upset by DC, I believe.
Yep,
I was like, this is a tough road for Mouse Sports. They got put in a low seed, play against a good team, and then got the upset team. That's really tough. But they beat them game 1?
Yeah, they won game 1. So we'll keep an eye on that as we head into our
Wait, did you say TNC
draft.
beat Thunder?
Yep, TNC beat Thunderbirds. They were 1-0 down in that game as well, and came back to win 2-1.
So the 4th 2-0 team.
So it's IG, Virtus Pro, TNC, and Secret are the 4 teams currently who are 2-0. They're the only 4 that can receive.
And I think TNC had a really hard route there. You know, Thunderbirds is somebody a lot of teams are talking about. You know, the performances before this major, not so much, but everybody was talking about them coming into this.
Well, if it hadn't been Thunderbirds, it would have been Liquid.
Yeah,
so that would be EG and Liquid as their opening 2 games,
right?
and they've won both.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Right, let's get into our second draft then and see whether Evil Geniuses can secure themselves a winning round. It would take them to 1-1, which would put them in the mid-seeds for round 3, so that's where they want to be. Ban-wise, what do you make of it so far?
So we can tell by EG banning out the Treant Protector, they took it from first pick every single time, that this is the hero that they value the highest going into this tournament. So that's something that other teams are going to note on. Warlock being the first pick for Faceless. Nuts has played a lot of Warlock in the past few days or whatever tournaments he's played in recently. They really like that hero.
I was going to say, it's definitely a comfort pick. Like, it gives you a lot of team fight, gives you, that lane stability.
And a Midas hero.
Yeah, and a Midas.
Let's never forget to mention
what a
the
meta,
Midas.
What a meta, yeah.
Yeah.
The Midas meta.
The last game, there was, 7 Midases. 7.
Wow.
3 on Faceless and 4 on EG.
That's a small number. I casted a game, they had 5 on one team or something.
Yeah, that was Liquid.
That was 9
that was
earlier.
That was Liquid had 5 on.
And we had 7 in the
heroes.
games that I was looking at as well. So, I mean, obviously Midas is, as much as people are talking about the nerfs, this is potentially, a place we're going to see a lot more.
Yeah. So Ricky coming out. So that's the 4th roamer that we were talking about. Monkey, Treant, Ricky, and Earth Spirit. These are the go-to current 4 position supports.
Oh.
And Crystal Maiden. That's a pretty good combination.
I'm actually kind of surprised they would go with both of their supports so early on.
Yeah, normally you don't see that, except for EG.
EG do that a lot, though. They do prioritize their supports, but because Crit really favors the carry mid saving to 4-5.
Right on.
So yeah, you do see it a lot from them.
Yeah, especially, these two, usually you see a Crystal Maiden because it gives you that flexibility, you can kind of use her in a lot of different roles, but then now with the Ricky, I don't know how they're going to move forward with this.
Like some teams, they can prepare for these kind of things. Like if they know there's a counter to the Crystal Maiden, it might counter the Ricky as well, and they could already just pick that hero right away. So but to be honest, right now I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, an early jabs Shadow Fiend. Quite bold, isn't it, from Faceless?
Yeah.
I will just tell you what we're playing.
The biggest thing is they decided not to pick Magnus this game. Perhaps they lost some confidence in it, but this is like Magnus is still their best hero that they execute.
Maybe it's because of the Ricky pick, just because you'd be able to split experience with him while he jungles.
Okay.
Why would he do anything else, right?
Yeah, it's true.
It could be just another strategy, right? The Warlock Shadow Fiend. Maybe they want to go towards some kind of Abaddon strat that we've seen.
Okay, just like cover the Shadow Fiend with golems and heals and stuff.
The big thing I noticed is, like I look at Shadow Fiend and I'm like, that seems like a really early, very counterable pick early on. So I don't know if they're, like you said, coming in with a strategy or they have something planned for EG in this case.
Yeah, like if you see 2 supports picked in the first phase, you normally just want to pick another support, right? So, because like you don't really have information on the enemy course. Now, Evil Geniuses have an opportunity to counter the Shadow Fiend and more.
Yep.
So, it's going to be interesting. Maybe you can even consider banning an Earth Spirit here, since if 3 of the roamers are already picked out, it might not be a bad idea, especially since last game they did take this Earth Spirit. And it's a good hero with the Warlock. It synergizes quite well with the Fatal Bonds.
It's pretty good against Ricky as well, roaming, because it has really good mobility.
Catch him from far, cast Dust, Orb of Venom hero.
Yeah, I definitely like the Venge ban out from EG. Takes both a carry and a support out of there, and something that's a really good save for something like a Shadow Fiend. It doesn't have the highest mobility.
I feel like Ricky won't be able to pressure Shadow Fiend super well. Like I feel like it's okay, but it's also really dangerous because SF has so much ranged nuke damage.
Right.
So maybe that was part of their thought here. Yeah, and then the removal of the Weena here. Obviously something I think that does pretty well against Shadow Fiend.
It's a very good hero with Crystal Maiden as well. Like, that hero is constantly mana starved, and she can play an extremely fast game with the Maiden on her team. It's a combination that was very big at DAC. EG, they're gonna pick their counter to the Shadow Fiend here that they've been planning. It's gonna be a puck. Now, this can be an offlane puck. We have seen Universe play it.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely gives you, once again, that flexibility you're talking about in the drafting.
The debate ability.
It's going to really help make Crystal Maiden and Reki more useful as well. Those heroes are a little bit, like, CM is kind of immobile, and this way if you just Dream Coil plus Smoke Cloud, it's
or
make Reki
Dream
really
Coil
good.
into Chicks, and it's going to do so much damage, right?
Yeah, or into CM ulti, or into... It actually synergizes really, really well.
Yep.
I like that a lot.
What were they comboing with Puck at DAC? Who was their key hero?
EGs?
Yeah. They were doing like Puck plus something else.
They did Puck Monkey King 2 games in a row.
Oh yeah, because Dream Coil plus the
Monkey.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people were talking about how the Monkey King nerfs might have been an issue, but obviously we're seeing it used a lot and used effectively.
Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate in some ways because like his team fight is so good that his laning has been like super nerfed in some ways. It's kind of a... I don't know, I hate heroes when they're super OP, but right when they get a little nerf, then I start getting into them. Yep. And I know that now it's like really hard to play the fun style, the roaming style. I should just be a dirty like hero abuser right when they get super OP.
So
I always get at the worst time.
Another Nature's Prophet again from EG. Now, we did talk about this in some previous panels, that this Prophet hero is going to be showing up quite a lot throughout this tournament.
The interesting thing here is, though, how do they play this? Because this
well,
is obviously no longer an offlane puck, is it?
Right. It could easily be... Actually, that's not true. It could still be an offlane puck,
yes.
and Arteezy can play Nature's Prophet.
Yep.
If we go back all the way to TI4, that was one of his heroes that he was playing on the main stage.
Right.
And it's something we've seen Matumbo Man do a lot on Team Liquid and
Right.
be very, very effective with.
All right, so we talked about Timbersaw the first series. They went with the Brood Mother. Now they're like, no. We're doing Timbersaw now. I am done with Brood.
Yeah,
is this for potential like Timber Puck 1v1 or Timber Prophet 1v1?
Yeah, most likely for the Timber Prophet 1v1. Okay. I think the Puck should do pretty decently against the Timbersaw.
What if it's not mid? I feel like Timber would be fine there.
If it's a side lane Puck Timbersaw?
Yeah. I feel like he'd be okay.
Puck has like very high base damage.
It's true.
And the Timber can't really just walk up to him and try to bully him. So, and there's some magical, like, for the first 3 levels, Timbersaw isn't really going to beat anybody. But after that, it's going to be a hard matchup no matter what. True. But at least against Nature's Prophet, he has to like TP out of the lane to try and help elsewhere. And if that happens and the Timber gets in a good position to cut some creep waves, it's hard for the Nature's Prophet to return there. But Puck is like a much more difficult hero for Timber to try and kill at any point.
Gotcha.
Do you think if that did happen, though, would you see the Timbersaw and Puck just try and trade farm in that situation? Say they did try and put the lane matchups like that.
Yeah, well, it's really hard for either of them to kill each other, but the Timber will try his best to, win this matchup the best he can. Naga Siren ban for the Faceless. Pretty good. EG can't really deal with it that easily. Yet. But EG will have to pick the hero... no. Faceless picking first, and EG's going to get the last hero, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of like hiding the carry, but in the end, if you just counter it at the end, it solves all your problems.
Yeah. Ursa, that's for the Timber counter. They don't want to play against that.
So they don't need a tower hitter. They basically just need a... I don't know, it's like their off lane, depending on how they do the lanes. No, it'll be a carry. So they need more lockdown right now. It's basically just Earth Spirit, and Puck's going to be kind of hard otherwise. Yeah. Maybe they do some kind of like team fighty carry. Something that's good against split push, possibly.
A Black Void.
Maybe a Juggernaut? Who can provide a healing ward and for the Shadow Fiend. Right now, they have no real protection for the Shadow Fiend, right?
Yeah.
You want something like that to be able to assist him.
Jug sorta works, but it's also kind of bad. I don't know if I'd want to play Jug versus like Puck.
Oh,
Maybe
also
Prophet.
maybe
Black plays the Shadow
I was
Fiend
about
for
to
this
say,
team as
I was
well.
actually thinking about that, and thinking back to the Abaddon that you were saying, or saying earlier, right? You know, maybe something like that in the safe lane to protect the Shadow Fiend potentially. It is interesting. Faceless has left this quite open if they decide to put Black into the safe lane role with the Shadow Fiend.
If I'm Faceless right now, I'm probably thinking about how I can possibly go aggro tri-lane and try to put the 1v1 Timbersaw matchup so he can get just free levels and whatnot. So they might want something that they can go aggro with that's not really going to die, even if Nature's Prophet gets there. You know, something elusive, hopefully.
All the like mobile-ish heroes that I'm thinking of are all countered by like silences or Puck or something though.
Right.
So.
So that's why I'm thinking maybe the Juggernaut could be good. Like it's a bit greedy because they're gonna have like this triple core that don't really have any disables, but they also have the opportunity to just win all their lanes and try to play on that. So it all depends on what kind of route they want to go.
Tiny.
For. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like the problem if the tri-lane is even that strong, EG can kind of just ditch it anyways. Like Ricky can go roam somewhere, CM can jungle, they can just tank it a little.
Anti-mage.
Okay.
Wow.
Huh.
Black doesn't get to play. He gets to play against it, which I don't know how that one will work out. But very interesting draft yet again from Faceless and from EG. Connie, prediction time.
You know, I didn't particularly like EG in the last one, but I think this time I have to go with them. They have a really strong lineup. I like their heroes and how they work together. I think we're going to see them do well.
Okay, EG for Connie.
Should I just go opposite?
I would. I mean, we've learned.
All right,
Have
let's
you
go.
not learned
Let's
how
go
this
Faceless.
works
You
yet?
know, I don't even know anymore. I looked at the last game. I'm like, oh my God, Broodmother is checkmate. You know, you can't go wrong here. But the curse of the first chair. You know, gonna go with Faceless then.
I'm gonna go with the first chair as well. I think I'm gonna pick EG to win this one. I feel like Faceless doesn't have enough lockdown. I feel like EG is gonna do well enough in the laning stage. I mean, maybe Tiny can work, but it's not gonna work very well against AM. And they've got a Timber as well for pure damage. I think EG can get this one. I think they'll close it out.
Okay. All right. 2 for EG. 1 for Faceless. Let's find out whether this one ends as a 2-0 or we head to match number 3. Let's head back to our commentary team for game 2.
Thank you very much, Paul. And indeed, Game 2, Evil Geniuses up against Faceless. The drafts, as the day goes on, they continue to impress and surprise these final picks. Yeah. Tiny being picked up by Faceless. The artsy is the anti-mage, maybe something a little more that we're kind of accustomed to, but the Black, the Tiny, I mean, what's the plan here? Why the Tiny?
It's a hero that can come online and fight, I feel. I was like looking at the draft and like looking, it's Black Heroes last, and typically he's a player known for his farming, like playing the late game, but you already have Shadow Fiend and Timbersaw, 2 heroes that need a lot of farm. So unless they want to go really greedy and have 3 heroes that all need a lot of farm, they wanted to get at least one of their cores who can come online fast and get involved. Tiny, with like a fast blink, can do that. So I think that, in my mind, is what Faces have in mind, like get that fast treads, blink, then start making moves, smoke around the map, find some kills. You've got Warlock. You want a team fight when you've got Warlock, Earthspirit. You've got this really scary team fight. For EG, it's like CM, Nature's Prophet, Ricky. Their team fight doesn't match up against yours, so I think they're going to use Tiny to try and force some objectives and to take those team fights.
We're very intrigued to see what sort of build he does go for on the Tiny as well, how early he prioritizes getting that blink pickup. I imagine, of course, the Ag's certainly going to be a nice pickup eventually this game against the Treants, the pushing.
Definitely been a fun day for new picks, like with the, first Valve Major on the 7.0x patches. We've seen Bristleback mids. We're seeing like the first pick Shadow Fiend, the Tiny coming out. A lot of heroes that maybe wouldn't have expected to see come out, like the Brood even making an appearance. It is the group stage, so perhaps the meta will kind of focus in a bit more come the main event, while the group stage teams are a bit more experimental, but we are seeing all kinds of different styles and picks.
And we'll see what sort of lane matchups we get. I mean, is there a certain pairing that you feel that one team is going to try and make sure that they have in this laning stage, in terms of their heads at 1v1s and such?
It seems both teams are pretty happy with the standard laning matchups, like neither team going for any kind of aggro lane. Both teams looking to secure their safe lanes first and foremost. We'll see XY likely securing the early souls for Shadow Fiend. I think that to me is probably the key thing for Faceless in like the first minute or two, is get souls on SF. So whether or not Jabs is the one securing that or they have some other idea in mind, we'll have to wait and see. But interesting, Nuts is actually bottom with the Warlock. So they are going to do the 1v1, but it's going to be Tiny. If you did a 1v1 against Nature's Prophet,
like Theban mentioned on the panel, we'd expect it to be the Timbersaw there at 1v1. So interesting that it's actually tiny. Terrible, 0 base armor. It's not even terrible starting armor. It's no armor to start with.
Bottom lane, trying to make a go here onto Ice. Shadow Word will be onto Zai in response. XY comes across with a roll. Looks like they no one to fall here. And Ice man's back up. Tries to force the back. There's going to be a second Frostbite though. Ice has to be careful. Just fall down fairly low. The Shadow Word here will be there for nuts.
I mean, it's interesting. Something that the panel also mentioned is Faceless is probably looking for a way to go aggro tri-lane, but with the Timbersaw just doesn't seem like the ideal optimal way to do that.
It really feels like Black and Ice more optimal for them to switch positions, but indeed this is the play that Faceless want to make. Going with the roll, gonna miss. Crit is fine.
If we hit the CM, that's that 280 movement speed CM, slowed by a roll and an Orb of Venom. You'll find the first blood there, but they lost their initial sentry. Do have a second one to try and deal with Zai here at bottom. I'm just confused. Like I would have definitely expected this to be. If they had Tiny bottom, you've got a stun. Tiny not great because all those early anti-mage hits would be against a 0 armor hero, and that Tiny would be getting harassed heavily.
They might actually catch out Zai here. Frostbite will be there. Hold back XY, but with the Shadow Word ticking Zai down, it is going to be close. It looks like he will survive though. He's going up, and it's just enough to offset the damage of the Shadow Word.
Still doing a good job pulling this lane. Nice thing for the dire side is they have got access to a shrine if they want to 3-man shrine it. One of the good reasons why these aggro tri-lanes are so good. But Nuts TP's up top to where the Jabs is shrining, and it will use this shrine to go and secure some additional farm for Black, who isn't having the best time against Nature's Prophet. Isn't doing too bad, but he's true to roll. As Tengo's here only has the salve left to regen himself back up with.
Yeah, the mid lane matchup looking very good for Sumail at the moment, of course, with these early levels. 15 for 6 against the 8 for 1.
Yeah, you know, it's totally wrong as far as Faceless's laning stage objective. They didn't try and secure any early souls there, but they're going to get first blood top. Nice move from Nuts. Seems to just catch Universe by surprise. Yeah,
very nice for Black. He wrapped around past the secret shot, making sure that he could get in position behind the Treants and ensure that he was going to get that toss off onto the Nature's Prophet.
They had the ward there too. They knew Warlock had TP'd there and was making that move up top, so just a bit of a misstep. Sumail at mid.
Getting aggressive. The response will be there from XY.
Oh,
nice phase shift this roll. Surely he doesn't get himself out of this one. He doesn't. Jabs will pick up the kill. Very good quick reactions there from XY as he spots Sumail trying to make a play.
That was a great phase dodge, but still not enough. And yeah, XY in the right position and making a good call for Jabs to just bait it in. Like let him go and you pretend you're out of position and turn it around to get that kill. So still a laning stage being heavily won by EG. It's reflected in the CS. All 3 lanes, CS lead is on EG's side. We'll see how much that changes as time goes on, but not going to be... I mean, Ice can just right-click, use this max reactive armor. It's going to take support presence to do anything about it. And CM's probably one of the weakest supports to try and zone a Timber with. So Ice will have a good time in going for these annoying Orb of Venom type items. He knows he's never going to have mana, so if he wants to harass, he may as well do it through right clicks.
Yeah, he's going straight in on RTZ.
Yep.
RTZ and a little trouble as well. XY with the boulder smash, but not quite enough control that they need to maintain
close
the kill potential. And in fact, it's going to be mid lane where the blood is spilt. Crit with the rotation to wrap around, shut off Jabs, and make sure that Sumail gets that kill in return in the mid lane that he did need after kind of losing his life to the rotation of XY earlier.
Jabs was trying to make his way to that shrine and couldn't quite get there, and will immediately TP back in. He does not want to die again with Ricky in the neighborhood, but again, we see XY. His mid's in trouble. He's there to help try and salvage things.
And yeah, still with that incredible CS lead on the puck. 29 CS here before the 5-minute mark. Sumail having just a lightning start to this game 2, and we saw what he was able to do with a good lead at the beginning in game 1. I'll be on a very different hero, but certainly is going to be kidding up at a very good time with this rate of farm early on.
See what the call is going to be as far as EG with their support movement. For now, they block some camps. Zai's getting the info as to what's going on, and yeah, it seems like they know that Zai is in the neighborhood.
Well, look at the roll onto Crit, and Crit smashed up and raised down. Fell. She's going to look for a second one. Yeah, with the dust. Should get this Zai. He's got nothing to jump up to. So Faceless pick up a second. The 2 supports getting taken down. Some great involvement for Jams to find himself in.
Yeah. While this is going on, the 1v1 lane's not going great for them. I mean, I think Timber's lane is fine right now. Anti-Mage actually gets bullied a little bit despite being able to burn all of Timber's mana. He just doesn't care with the poor man shield and constant 10 reactive armors up. So that lane's going well, but top lane is in a dangerous place as Black is getting ganked up by some smoked supports here.
And he's very low on health here, Black, as he sticks around. Looks like he's actually going to get away there. Crit. So he's just unable to... Oh, no, okay, didn't have the second spell, so just sitting on level 3 with the 2 points in the aura.
Be close with the phase boots. He can keep chasing. Has stick charges, and yeah, we'll lose vision at night, so return kill at the tower.
Crit ended up just diving in a little too deep and trying to hide. Yeah, but in the tree line. And XY finding himself involved in... How many has he been involved in so far? Yeah, 4 of the 5 kills. Some very tight spirit rotations in comparison to where we saw in game 1. XY got to be a bit off the mark with the early movements, but this game already looking a lot more solid for the spirit player.
It's always one of those moments as CM when you hit level 3, whether you get the second point in aura or get that Crystal Nova point, going the 1-1-1 build, and that's a moment where he's like, man, I should have got the Nova. But typically, your team prefers the second point in aura.
On mid lane. Dream Coil dropped down and looking for jabs with the Frostbite, bringing him down low. He's stuck in the cloud, tries to turn towards Samael to get another raise off. It won't be successful, and Samael, with the straight up Dream Coil usage, enough control to bring down jabs in the middle lane. Yep. RTZ still continuing to be left pretty much on his own, and understandably being kept low by Ice, even with the mana being burned as we saw earlier. Just the right click harass even and such, enough to force RTZ to just play it very safe down here.
Yes, and the lane gets tougher now because Ice brings himself a Mango and he's about to get a Soul Ring, so he can actually use spells, able to threaten to kill with either a Timber Chain or a Chakram. He can pop a Mango and quickly throw a spell out. He can pop his Soul Ring and use a spell. He can pop his Stick Charges. He's actually no longer just an Orb of Venom reactive armor melee creep in this lane. We'll see it now. Soul Ring, spell usage. Ice can actually fight RTZ.
Yeah, RTZ out to blink away. He's trying to bait him in. Zai's there.
Man.
He's got 3 points in reactive though, and it's max stacks. Crit.
This will be close.
Yeah, well, Universe coming through as well. They should be able to control him. There's the first silence. Crit will have the follow through Frostbite to try and catch him mid Timber Chain, and indeed they will. They'll bring Samael through as well to make sure that they can get the kill.
Took 5, but I think they needed every single one of those 5. Perhaps they didn't need someone like Anti-Mage didn't really do anything, but he baited. That was his role. The CM stopped the Timber Chain. The Puck gave the damage. The Nature's Prophet gave the damage. Ricky gave the silence. You know, all 5 of those heroes had a purpose, and with all their powers, they kill a Timbersaw. You know, that's sometimes just what you got to do to secure an Anti-Mage farm, and that's, you pick an Anti-Mage, you want to secure him farm. You don't want him getting bullied in his lane. That's a recipe for your disaster as far as your draft goes.
Space, of course, given to Black with those sort of movements up on the top lane. Treads, and still yet to indicate what his plans will be in terms of his first major item this game. I mean, he himself, we may see drums or such. Bottom lane in the river, Zai has been spotted out, dusted up. Faceless. Get themselves another here. Good support movement again. XY getting himself involved in more action.
Money spent by the Ricky, but ultimately another kill, and this Ricky has been kept down quite nicely. 0-2, not many levels. Not say a low impact, but has nowhere near what we saw like from some of like the Baboka games and dogfights on IGV. Hasn't been quite the nuisance as some of the other Rickies, but still I think effective overall for EG.
Eyes on to Black. Well, they've got crit around, but between the two of them, I mean, yeah, but adding in a Universe could do it, but Black already playing very safe. Just heads back to the tower.
It's definitely the player / hero you want to be ganking right now. Slow down that blink timing. He's also perhaps the most exposed to those kind of ganks. Nuts is up there though, and yeah, they're just saying it's time to ditch bottom lane. We killed the Timbersaw once, Anti-Mage, fall back, jungle, and let's just give Timbersaw this bottom lane. Similar to last game where like they...
Bait and Zion. Oh, actually going to see the spells come out from Black in time before the smoke screen. Yep. They have that Sentry Vision, but just a little slow with the call to make the go on in with the burst.
Yeah. They really want to utilize this ward up here to try and jump, and they know Warlock is under-leveled. There's no rock anytime soon. Sumail's got a Veil, so he's very strong. but it seems like they don't want to dive the tower.
He's got the regen rune, so could go back in, but yeah, it's going to be the mid lane where the focus is. TPing across, they're going to look to try and fight. Dream Coil dropped onto Jabs, so just go for the TP straight up, but the Mana Void is there to cancel it. They'll bring down Jabs. Get the SF, and will push Faceless away from this tier 1 push that they're attempting.
So Saiz will TP out from bottom after he gets a bit low, but he's doing what he can to pressure and bully this lane. So nice moves from EG. They show a lot of heroes up top. They pretend like they're going for a push, that's dive, and it kind of baits Faceless into this false sense of security at mid, and EG used that to set up and quickly rotate. One of the real strengths of Nature's Prophet is his ability to instantly TP somewhere on the map. All they need is one hero to TP to the tower, like a hero with a disable to stop the TP. That's the puck. Anti-Mage is nearby as well with a disable, and they very easily and quickly overwhelm Jabs on the Shadow Fiend.
Top lane. See Universe come across. The pressure being put on by Black and Nuts. Yep. And still level 5 at the moment on Nuts, not quite hitting that 6. But that chaotic offering that they're going to love to have.
Seems like they're going to reach a peak on the Faceless side when they get both the Blink on Tiny and the level 6 on Warlock. Not sure where it looks like the Tomb of Experience was taken by XY's Earth Spirit.
A mid lane here, Ice walks in, but EG straight up crit with that Freezing Foil and Samael, Dream Coil. That'll certainly bring down a Timber, not giving two hoots about that reactive armor with the magical that they can offer.
Yep, level 6 on supports it's a lot harder and a bit slower to get them, but when you do get them, it can be very impactful. We see it there with CM. That's what Faceless need on their Warlock. Looks like let's say the Earth Spirit with the Magnetize up, probably the receiver of the XP Tomb on their side, but hasn't found that opening yet to use the Magnetize.
Zai, he's getting some vision up in terms of his position. They're seeing if we can spot out any of the farm movements. We'll grab the bounty rune as well. Faceless themselves, kind of hovering around this mid tier 1, prepared for maybe EG to make some sort of a play. But at the moment, as we can see, Samael top of the net worth still, and then the other 4 very much neck and neck. RTZ Universe, Jabs and Black all around that 4,500 mark. And yeah, it seems to be at this point, it's about the Blink Dagger timing. Samael getting his, and Black getting his in return. Who's going to be able to start making the big plays once they come out? Who's going to get it first? And there we have Black with the first purchase.
Where's he going to go, though? Does he TP to a lane to try and smoke with his teammates? Or does he doesn't really want to stay top lane farming? You ideally want to instantly try and find a pick-off with it, but there's Observer Wards in his jungle. Riki the perfect hero to try and scout this out, and looks like it's going to happen now.
A roll from XY, he's got the dust. Yeah, saw Zai walking past to try and go for the TP out. XY trying to get out for the stun. He doesn't need it himself because Black's there with the TP in. And they'll chop him down. Ice, making sure that the deal is sealed. As they'll take down Zai. Pick up one. That will effectively be the Blink Dagger reveal on Black if they were checking him out there. So they'll know that Tiny has that online. And we'll be a little more careful, you'd imagine, as they come out across the map. Top lane, though, the push is coming through.
They just got 6 on Warlock, though, so they're Faceless are ready to fight. Chaotic Offering and Magnetize both up. They kind of seem to be hesitating. Do we go top? Do we stick around mid? Last time they went top, Jabs was left alone mid. He gets picked off, so I think they're wary of leaving Jabs alone. But at the same time, Tiny probably wants some backup to use with this Blink Dagger. Can kill a Crystal Maiden, though, if he manages to get close enough.
Towards the mid lane here. XY being scouted out by Zai. And the TP across will come through from Crit. So EG looking to form a defense here in the mid lane. Jabs actually waltzing straight up to the high ground here. They're looking to finish off the tier 1. They should get it, but the Freezing Field's been dropped. In response, great Boulder Smash to cancel the CM ultimate. The tower will go down. Can they get themselves out though? Zai jumps in with the Dream Coil. They'll try for the Requiem. The Frostbite's there to cancel it first off, but they'll get the second attempt on. And Samael taken down as he's tossed up by Black. Faceless with a perfect team fight there. They had the Golem. Jabs got the ultimate off at the end of it all, and XY at the start just making sure that the Freezing Field doesn't continue for more than a matter of a second.
Yeah, they had the right heroes sitting behind the Shadow Fiend to actually save him this time. You know, you can protect him with the Boulder Smash stun, and most importantly, the Chaotic Offering, and all those heals. Like, you put a Shadow Word on him, he had the 1 charges, he had a Fairy Fire, he managed to block enough of the damage that EG's defense right there was entirely reliant on bursting down the Shadow Fiend. They know there's a Warlock scene behind him, they know the rock's coming, but they're hoping that with the use of the Veil, the Nature's Prophet ultimate, and just throwing all the spells they've got, that they can burst down that Shadow Fiend before, or even as the rock comes down. As long as they kill the SF and like trade SF for a puck, they're happy because AM is free farming. Unfortunately, it doesn't go that way. AM's still free farming. He was at bottom lane, he managed to get a lot of creeps, doesn't take the tower, but still looking like a decent Battle Fury timing, so all is not lost for EG. It's an objective loss. It is momentum Faceless' way, but this is where Faceless is meant to be strong. They've got rock, they've got ultimates, they're ready to go. They're ready to fight with this Blink initiation tool that is at Black's disposal.
I mean, the question is, you know, as she talks about anti-mage Arteezy closing in on that Battle Fury, surely he's got to be the hero you want to look for. You can't allow Artur to continue the game without dying in these early stages. You know, 16 minutes in, they're yet to pick him off. He will become a big threat for sure. EG, smoked up, now spot XY, more straight into the hands of them. Get a quick kill onto the Earth Spirit. Can they get anything more out of it? That's the question. Ice and Jabs already on the retreat. Zai looking to get the vision on the front line. Sprouts down to Ice quickly, chops down the trees, and with a heal from Nuts, Ice will be able to walk out. Jabs still thinking about potential to go back in.
5 seconds till a Requiem. I'd say it's surprising they're trying to force this fight without the rock up, but having an invis room, perhaps undetected by EG, gives them a very big strategic advantage here, and ISS is trying to bait.
Faces have got the vision onto Zai with the sentry down. But EG, I think they're respecting the fact that there could be potential disaster around the corner.
Black's even showing top. Like, this is such a bait from Faceless. It's like, hey, our Tiny's not here. Come and kill our Timbersaw. But this is a good call from EG. If they'd engaged there, Jabs would have ripped them a new one with a Requiem.
At least though, Faceless may get this tower. It's already down to less than half health. With the creep wave coming through.
Ice in the front lines with Hood, 1 charges, and 20 reactive armor is pretty much unkillable. You need like a good chunk of freezing field damage on him if you want to get that kill.
And there we have it, tier 2. Taken down at 17 minutes. On time as well with Arteezy picking up the Battle Fury. But of course now Faceless will have a much better potential of keeping control of EG's jungle and just trying to shut down where Arteezy is able to find fun. And talking about fun, Zai, as you mentioned, gets a free courier. I didn't have anything on, but actually a little bit of gold and shutting that out for 3 minutes.
Not bad. And I mean, I like how Faces have adjusted from last game. They're actually sticking together. They're playing around Ice. It's a very different game, of course. When you're playing with a Brood, you've maybe got this mindset where you want to have some element of split push. You want Ice to go off separately, but it didn't work out for them this time around. 18 minutes in, they're forcing a 4-man push without even having Rock up. Rock's back up now, and now they're like, okay, we're no longer 4-man pushing. Let's bring all 5, in fact. I say that XY's headed top. I think this is like trying to set up perhaps for a sneaky little kill. He will find a useful D-ward here. Well, he's trying to set up trying to set up for the Riki even.
Zai will be spotted out immediately. Black jumps up to the high ground with the combo, bursts down Zai.
Yeah, nice little Sentry Observer combo. You scout that Riki floating around the map and easy kills.
And I mean, this is looking to be another very early tier 2 from this push of Faceless if they can get us off. Yeah, backdoor protection.
Black found Arteezy top. He cancelled the TP.
With the combo again, and then the follow through silence. Arteezy in trouble. The Boulder Smash won't connect.
They still live.
But the Magnetizer's on him. He's with the 4 points in the passive. He should be fine unless they can get another blink onto him.
He's not even gonna. It's like a 1 in 10 chance to like figure out where he's blinked to. Not even trying to chase off, but it's still a win because he's not farming.
TP. Yeah, he's got to work his way around the tree line.
Make his way to the shrine, perhaps. Can't really do a whole lot. He's also scared of showing in lane. It's also like when the rest of Faceless is grouped up pushing mid, they're pushing around the Shadow Fiend with the Warlock Chaotic Offering. You want to have the Arteezy split push. It's actually a necessary threat. You want him split pushing top, Universe split pushing bottom. And when you're low in HP, it's harder to do that. He is back in the lane now. He sees enough heroes that he feels safe in doing so, but Black is again headed up top. There's no wards to scout this move. If Black sees Arteezy top, he may go for that kill.
Universe was trying to put a bit of split pressure on bottom, but immediately Ice in, and very good at clearing back these pushes that come through from the Nature's Prophet. Extra gold into the bank, 2.9k, as he looks to close in on the Bloodstone completion.
Yeah. Black is like camping this shrine, like waiting for Arteezy to come and heal himself up. He's been here for a good like 30, 40 seconds now because he saw how low Anti-Mage was. He's like, all right, Anti-Mage, if he's not pushing top...
Is he still sitting up top, Arteezy?
Yeah, he's chilling on the tree. It's
chilling,
actually saving his life. If you push the lane, he's going to die.
He's going to push the lane.
No, he sees Tiny.
Okay,
Tiny's
Black's
showing...
revealed.
Oh, Tiny's in trouble, though. Arteezy's got friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, he's got a lot of friends.
But Black, again, similarly, very good map awareness from both carry players.
He's got to be careful, Black.
Oh, this Warlock, though, could be the X factor, but has been scattered out, so unlikely to catch EG by surprise with a rock. Yeah, it was, I mean, heads-up play from Black to camp that shrine, knowing that Arteezy, if he's not split-pushing top, he may come to just farm the neutrals or shrine up. So he put himself in a position to find that kill, but similarly, Arteezy reading the situation and not exposing himself to that threat.
Oh, the sentry dropping, finding Zai on the back lines. They don't have enough control by this with the bottle smash. Will grab him. The second sentry, that'll allow them to get the kill.
Nicely played.
Very nice sentry drop from XY. Immediately aware that it's likely that EG are looking to get vision behind the tower.
Just perfectly times his silence as the stun's wearing off. I mean, it's one of those things which is very commonplace now because of the stun bar timer durations above heads, but it used to be saying that was almost impossible to get those perfect times on, and we're seeing Faceless really play a much more coordinated team game here in game number 2. Very objective focus. They've taken 5 of the 6 out of towers. Likely going to set their eyes on Roshan soon as well if they want to. They've got Jabs in a position where he's got his Dragonlance. He goes for the BKB, not going for any kind of Shadowblade build. Just wants to be able to 5-man with his team, be on the front lines, tank up as much damage as he can, not have to worry about a smoke screen, a puck silence, and guarantee a Requiem in these fights as well.
Yeah, how's Arteezy's farm looking? Well, we've got the Yasha, 1600 towards the Ultimate Orb as he tries to get that Manta style complete.
He's not number 1 on net worth, and I think that's really, if this was like a Anti-Mage game where he was 2-3k net worth ahead of the SF, you'd be like, all right. It's kind of like that game where you're behind on kills, you're losing towers, but you've got an Anti-Mage. I don't think you can say that quite yet, because Arteezy has been pressured enough and been put in positions where he can't free farm. Oh, bottom lane, they're going to go on...
top lane as well,
and
Black
top lane, yep.
In with the combo onto CM.
Meanwhile, bottom TP out from the coil, so... Trying to use an Orchid to kill the Timbersaw there, but hey, Orchid doesn't stun and you've used Dream Coil, so you can't actually stop that TP out.
This is Faceless getting that too. They're getting so many objectives, but the fact that EG are still having their cores on the same level, if not just a little bit higher,
Arteezy's got the courier too.
Okay, that'll help out as well.
I mean, that's 2 courier kills. It's a lot of gold. That adds up pretty quickly. If not for things like that, this game would be a little bit more lopsided.
Looks like they should get Roche out of this though. I mean, Faceless are in there. And EG not in a potential situation to head over and contest it. Not necessarily going to be the quickest approach.
Yep. A couple courier kills, some creep skips later, and suddenly Anti-Mage has pulled ahead. This is where he wants to be. A good... I mean, for now it's 1,000, but it could quickly turn into a bit more with these towers.
Yeah, for sure.
He wants to be number 1 in net worth. Like, when SF's ahead of him, and this is not an SF going for any kind of a farming build, you're a little bit concerned. Now, the test for EG is, can we defend our base against this 5-man Aegis push? Arteezy's trying to creep skip, be as annoying as possible, but...
XY will find the dust onto Zai, and Zai will be left behind. And we'll try for the TP out. They've got the Chakram in. Black is actually the man to pick up the kill with the Avalanche.
Yep. See what build Black goes for. Let's keep up BKB for now. I think sieging... he's not really the sieger in a lot of ways.
Oh, it's
SF
just changed as well, actually. Now it's the Shadowblade.
Oh, Shadowblade.
Yeah.
Pickoffs. Okay. It seems like that's a sign that they want to change their game plan, where it's like, okay, this game may go late, and we've got rat issues, you know? Nature's Prophet split pushing, Anti-Mage is constantly creep skipping waves. You've got to address that, and who's the hero that can do that? It's only really Tiny right now, so Tiny and Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit's going for a 4-staff, not a Blink Dagger. It's going to limit their catch potential there, so Tiny's really their best bet as far as starting off a gank onto someone like an Anti-Mage, so Shadowblade gives him that ability better than the Blink Dagger does, so I like to pick up.
Talking about Shadowblades as well, Universe going for a different build to what we saw in the first game. Shadowblade after the Orchid.
He's not ready for this one.
Yeah, Black looking for him. Uni. As not going to be lucky enough to get himself out of this. Just that combo. Such a lot of damage from Black. And yeah, absolutely. This Shadowblade pickup from him.
That's the reveal.
Crucial to catch out these split pushes.
And even though you know now, it limits how you can split push and play the game. So knowing that it's there doesn't mean you're going to be fine. Like it stops you going for those active split push plays, and the game gets very different for EG as a result. But Puck, definitely, Puck can split push. Good luck catching him. I guess the Shadow Blade again is the option because you can stun out of the invis. And EG are going to be looking to play that late game. Midas Puck.
Yeah, looking for the Aghanims as well.
Would have gone back for this Midas after the Veil and the Blink. I didn't see exactly when he picks up, but it would have been like a 20-minute Midas or something. Quite late, but hey, you recognize the way this game's going. It's going to go late. You want to go that level 25 Talon, of course, and you just get ridiculously farm on Puck with the Midas pickup. So it's going to be money is the name of the game here. Not sold on this SF BKB. I feel like he's not going to find opportunities to use it. As the idea is very much, hey, let's 5-man force high ground with an Aegis, but I think EG split push is good enough that you're not going to... I mean, maybe these pickoffs are enough, but look, top lane, EG's already there. And mid lane, Arteezy, he's creep skipping, and they're split pushing top. Good luck trying to siege high ground.
And that's Dive's courier going down a third time, and this time it had a heavy cargo on. It had about 3.4k worth of items on. That was the completion of the Hurricane Pike gone for the SF.
Yeah. I think Jabs misread how this game was going to go. Like, maybe it was his team saying, we're going to 5-man push, get items to push with, get a BKB. I don't know. You don't really know who's making these calls, but the current position is they're not able to push because you go down mid, as we just saw. Arteezy blinks behind you. He kills the creep wave. Puck and Nature's Prophet TP in top. They're threatening to take your tier 3 tower. You can't push high ground right now. So this BKB is not going to pay off. He would have been much better off going for probably a Silver Edge, Shadow Blade of his own. Alternatively, just getting like a more stat-heavy item. This BKB is not going to give him any value yet. Once teamfights happens, great, but I don't think EG are going to be giving Faceless teamfights anytime soon.
Absolutely not. Because at this pace of the game, it is just going to be Arteezy and Samael increasing the gap between themselves. And well, at the moment, Ice and Jabs, the two highest on Faceless' side, but two heroes that aren't going to be able to keep up with the farm potential of Samael and Artors.
Really is a game of catch the rat, but this is a great item pickup. The Boots of Travel on Ice allow him to push out a lane and then actually join with the team. So this is what they really need. If you want to push high ground, you've got to be able to push out these waves and then come back to the fight. So Ice has the Boots of Travel. Problem is Arteezy again,
look at this
mid-lane.
Yeah, he's sitting
creep
there.
skipping.
And there's nothing for Faceless to push with.
You need someone like Tiny on the case. The problem is the more split up you are, that's when EG jump you. If they see Timbersaw top, if they see like Tiny back not pushing with the team, suddenly you're split up 3-1-1 and they'll find kills. Now Arteezy with Manta style can get out of the Earth Spirit silence, so it's very hard to gank him when he's doing plays like this. Not to mention just all the magic resistance means Tiny's combo doesn't really do much to him. SF hasn't itemized to do physical damage. Black will find Arteezy here, but the damage... Oh, he gets the silence after the Manta. Bottom lane. Nope, not going to get the kill. No, he even messed up. He didn't Manta off the silencer. He Mantas and then gets silenced, but it doesn't matter. They haven't got damage to kill Anti-Mage without SF there. And they're going to lose the Aegis. It expires. It's kind of... Really, I mean, EG just playing really well right now, but I think Faceless had the wrong approach with some of their items. I think Tiny's are the right idea. Timbersaw, great idea with the Boots of Travel. It's really just this SF BKB, which isn't paying off.
Yeah, it's starting to look to take a bit of a similar slope as the game one, where we hit this point where Faceless, even though they had a reasonable start, are just struggling to find what they need to do. They took the early objectives, tier 1s, tier 2s, they're gone. But now what? That's the question, really. EG have this game plan with these two cores farming up a tree, and Faceless are seemingly struggling to keep on par and keep up with the pace that EG are playing.
Yep. At some point, they're going to have to find some way to find these key pickoffs. Yeah, I said had a pipe queued up earlier. I was like, I don't think this is going to... It's the same reason why the BKB is bad. You're not going to find yourself in a position to push, so he instead switches up. Looks like Lotus Orb is going to be the item instead. Black Silver Edge about to come out, so we'll see some more late game oriented items from Faceless. But yeah, it's still going to be this ongoing issue of how do you catch the rat. Need some exterminators here because constant pressure around the entire map is really being their undoing. Similarly, EG side, don't really feel like Universe has gotten much value from his Orchid. if he kills the Timbersaw once with it, the item pays for itself, and that was the idea where he made that TP gank bottom, but Ice TP'd out himself when he got silenced. So an item that could have theoretically found a timing where it punishes the Timbersaw, but now with a Lotus Orb, there's no way Ice dies to the silence. He may die to the Mana Void. That's really the big threat for him now. Arteezy very scary with Basher, soon to be completed Abyssal Blade.
Sumail will be caught out by the combo from Black. It's not going to be enough to initially burst him down. Sumail gets himself out with the blink, has the haste as well, good to go.
Yep.
And Sumail is out of there. And they can't, I mean, Black is still looking, he's got another blink, but the Avalanche still on cooldown for a second.
Silver Edge does give him a bit of added...
Oh, not the curry again, not the curry again. Not a fourth time, Zai.
Yes.
It will be able to get itself out with that extra bit of speed.
I mean, Black Silver Edge does allow him to break the anti-mage passive, so you can get rid of the spell shield, but
yeah, still with that, it's a tanky AM.
Yes, it's exactly that. It's got 2k HP, and he needs a +1 still. The combo won't kill anti-mage. He needs a Timbersaw, or really, I mean, Earth Spirit doesn't really do a whole lot. Earth Spirit has a stun, but the Silence Hill Manta off, so he needs at least a +1. Really seeing Faceless' draft get exploited by EG. Like, they haven't used that rock at all in, what, 15 minutes or so, it feels like. They took that tier 2 tower bottom at the 18-minute mark, I think it was, without using rock, and they haven't used rock since then. It was that mid-tier 1, 15 minutes in the game where they last used rock. EG have just maneuvered expertly well so far.
Bottom lane, trying to look for Crit. Crit actually able to make it out with the TP. They scanned as well. They knew that someone was moving in from the side, so they obviously identified it was probably Black with everyone else showing down bottom. So EG just, they back the hell away from that. They don't want to look to fight around that place where, you know, they've got no towers in the neighborhood. A very risky point to fight, and they really don't need to. Arteezy just continues to find the lanes, find the farm. He's very hard to get caught out as we keep going through. And, I mean, it feels like Arteezy's just got to make a huge blunder for EG to lose this game and Faceless have the chance to take it.
First real attempt at the high ground where there's no immediate split push threat. And they've killed CM.
Okay, there's one down. Faceless putting a heavy bit of pressure onto this tier 3. Let's see what Arteezy's plan is going to be. Is he going to back up and help them? The Dream Coil. They'll connect the stun onto Ice. Being brought down fairly low. Now with the Tricks of Trade trying to force Faceless to back up. Jabs revving up the ultimate. Now get the damage reduction. Not a huge amount of actual damage done by it. It's a nice border smash onto 2. Arteezy blinks away. Black actually with the blink combo able to bring down Universe. And okay with that, Faceless will open up the potential to almost certainly get these racks. The fortification will come out, but they'll stick around. And Faceless managing to do it here, outplaying EG in the full 5v5.
Oh, and that's the expected result. There's a 5v5 team fight. You expect Faceless to come out on top, and EG have done an incredible job outmaneuvering Faceless to avoid a 5v5 fight, but finally Faceless actually perhaps caught EG by surprise, because the entire last 15 minutes, Faceless has been trying to 5-man down mid lane. It's constantly, let's 5 down mid. Arteezy blinks behind, creep skips away, but down bottom, there was no one creep skipping the way. Arteezy was at top, he was actually at mid mostly pressuring the lane, so there was no real... His job up until that point had been to get behind, stop that following creep wave, and all they had to do was puck, veil, double nuke a creep wave, and there was no secondary creep wave to support a push. So I think EG didn't expect a high ground push coming through the bottom lane, and also without an Aegis, because up until then, Faces had an Aegis and were unable to push. So the fact they had no Aegis, I think perhaps gave EG this false sense of security that a push wasn't coming.
At the leads for EG, you know, they know that the ults aren't there for a bit, so they can head into Roshan. Ice is going to head across. Can he go for any sort of a steal here? It's not going to happen in time. Arteezy able to pick up the Aegis. Now looking to go in onto the Timbersaw. Jump up to the high ground for Sumail. He drops the Dream Coil onto 2. Jabs still trying to punch Sumail back out of this one. The Dream Coil stone will connect. They have lost Zai. One to fall on EG. The rest of them will get out of there. But they got the Rosh and they did get that Aegis into the hands of the anti-mage.
Still feels like Arteezy's going to struggle to fight into the 5-man death ball of Faceless, even with an Aegis. Like, having 2 lives doesn't really change the fact that your hero doesn't engage well into him. And again, we see this problem where suddenly Faceless have lanes pushed out.
And the ults pretty much there. I mean, Chaotic Offering, the only one lacking.
Yeah, a little bit lacking, but still, they've got the creep equilibrium in a good place.
Already Jabs down to less than half health here. Arteezy jumps in on the back lines, goes in with the Abyssal Blade. XY hits him back with the Boulder Smash. Sumail again with the burst, able to bring down the wall. They'll turn towards Jabs, popping the BKB, trying to run himself away. Ice is there on the high ground. They'll turn back towards Arteezy. Arteezy has to be careful, as they're going to be another bit of a stun coming through. They have the toss into the Boulder Smash. The silence as well. They'll bring him down once.
I think they need to get out now. Yeah, he's fluttering away on the SF. Does not want to get caught by this anti-mage.
Can Arteezy find anyone else? He's looking at Jabs. That next blink could just about do it. Good Hurricane Pike to push him back. Black's there with the Silver Edge touch. Zai jumping forward as well.
Bottom lane, Mimos.
Sumail is just styling on Ice. Brings the Timber Saw down. Black continuing to be chased down here, and with the Abyssal Blade, they may just get him. The Manifold comes through. Black's out of mana. He's out of luck. He's down and out. EG getting some big kills.
It was a crazy dual bottom between Sumail and Ice. Both players on like red HP. But yeah, it is EG come out on top.
Yeah, some big. I mean, it does. I wonder if they're going to be able to force anything out in terms of buybacks. I mean, Tiny's down for 50. They've got the pressure already coming in on this top lane.
Really want to address the creepy glue room. Gem was lost as well. XY's gem now in Universe's hands, so that's a bit of pretty big gold swing in itself. Tiny really does not want to buy back. He's already really struggling for farm. He's number 6 on net worth between all the cores. That is not a position that is going to allow him to scale into the late game. A buyback he would be crippling for his farm.
Now it's easy just making sure pressure's being kept on all 3 lanes. Yep. XY, in with the first smash. They do get the silence, but the Manta is still there. And Arteezy gets it out. Sumail jumps in and a dagon to the face of Nuts.
Dagon 5, this is brutal stuff.
They're going to turn look to Ice. Yeah. He will be able to get himself out of there.
It's so hard to play against this puck right now. He's unkillable, but just because he's a puck and, you know, phase shift, blink dagger, that's what this hero does. But then he also has absurd damage output with this Dagon Veil, all the int he's getting, the Aghanim Scepter for some additional lockdown. He can kill heroes so easy. And even if he's just throwing Dagon on the front lines, that quickly gets down SF to half HP. We saw Jabs have to kind of preemptively BKB just because he got Dagon down to like a 3rd HP when they were pushing. So EG may have lost a lane of Rax in the tier 3 tower, but they still find themselves pressuring lanes. And overall, like, the game plan hasn't changed. Like, strategically, they're still in a strong position. They've just got to make sure they don't expose themselves to that 5-man push when the chaotic offering is up. It's going to be a lot easier to defend now because Puck can just jump the wall and instantly kill him if he uses his full kit of spells.
And Black, he's queuing up the AC, but it's one of these guys. I feel like Tiny's like, maybe some of these heroes like an Ursa, you know, where you have that point where you get your key items, you're able to get kind of these single target bursts and find the kills. But then if you start to slow down and don't, it's very hard to get yourself back into game and catch up with a farm with someone like an anti-mage.
Black is Invis next to the fellow Invis hero. Getting scattered out by a sentry though.
Sumail has the Dream Coil, all ults available. I'm just going to make the jump first. On the high ground, just smoke screen and the Dagon straight up onto the Earth Spear. The chaotic offering will catch free, but Universe comes in from the side, takes down a second. They have lost Sai and Crit.
BKB's Dream Coil though, stunning everyone for days.
Yeah, the rest will get away. Oh, hang on, Black. He's going to find Arteezy. Does he have enough damage? No. Right. Arteezy gets the blink off in time.
The AC giving him a lot of armor. This really helps negate these ganks when Tiny, who with the Grow Echo Saber does do some good physical damage, but AC allowing him to survive and really see the power of the puck there with that Ag's Dream Coil. SF and Timbersaw both got caught by it, so they either just stand there still, can't really move at all, or they break the stun and then get stunned for 3 full seconds, so very tough to play against this puck. We'll probably see like a Refresher as a late game item pickup for Sumail as well. May even be his next item of choice. The Euro Blade could be really good on him. Hex is, of course, always a great choice.
I mean, what do Faceless have to do to win these fights? We saw then them using the big ultimates, but it does feel like with the lack of control. If they don't have a chaotic offering, it's the Tiny and the Earth Spirit that kind of have the reliability on their shoulders to chain stun a team and control this anti-mage, this puck as well, you know, as we're seeing Sumail just being able to jump all over the shot.
I think it's up to XY. Like you say, it comes down to the control to get kills. XY and Black, the 2 heroes that actually have reliable stuns and silences, Tiny and Earth Spirit have to come up big. So these two players, perhaps a Sheep Stick is on the horizon for someone like the Timbersaw, though he has queued up an Ag Scepter for now. You've got to find some way to control an Anti-Mage or Puck to kill them.
They're trying to chase down Crit here, but the combo a little bit off the mark from XY. And Crit, yes, goes for the TP out and the trees and knows that there's nothing there to stop it.
One of the biggest problems too is this Ricky scouting everything out. We're not really seeing a impact on any kill. As like this Ricky's not doing any damage this game. He's not getting any farm. He's 2 and 10, but he gives Puck the vision. He finds the Warlock. He's scouting out the Tiny, Shadowblading around. He's just got this gem. He's running around. He's de-warding. He's giving his team the necessary info to pick and choose fights and jump the right targets. It's really difficult for Earth Spirit to have an impact on it. We talk about how important it is for him to control heroes. Last fight, he got bursted down before he could use a single spell because Ricky scouts him out, Puck jumps him, easy kills. So this Ricky is enabling this Puck to find kill after kill. Sumail is having an absurdly good game because he's got this Ricky just to find heroes for him, to find these easy targets.
Jabs, a lot of money in the bank.
Speaking of a lot of money, good old Puck has hit level 25.
All the GPM will be rolling in for good old Sumail. And as you mentioned, Refresh Orb's going to be the first item. Then, of course, he can become a bit of a Moonshard machine, which we, well, highly appreciated by Universe, RTZ, and even Zai on this Ricky. There's a lot of great heroes to get that extra attack speed.
Casual Solar Crest from Timber. You know, you want some evasion. It's all right-click other than the Puck for a large extent, so you just want some evasion. Even if it means Anti-Mage goes MKB, it forces him to go an item he doesn't want to go.
And there is, of course, already the Bloodthorn on Universe, so they do have some sort of true strike potential.
They found the Ricky. Well, kind of did. The scan caught him, but then he moved out, and then they're, like, unsure where he is now. This Ricky is a pest. He's just going to camp as Observer. I don't really feel like Diffusal is necessary for Zai. Like, his job isn't to do damage. I mean, the Diffuse, as it could be useful in other ways as a slow, but thinking like a blink daggers. He could be like the ultimate nuisance with a blink.
Oh, look at this. Upgraded bots from Sumail as he jumps in onto Zai with the Dagon, finds a free pick off as Warlock's taken out. And that's
a
it's
great
sneaky.
combo.
It's sneaky. And they may even get themselves more here with the bashes here on Zai. Zai's bringing him down low. Has the Lotus Orb, tries to back off. The Mana Void will still come through from Arteezy. Has ended up bringing Universe down very low. Sprouts himself up. Universe actually somehow surviving here on incredibly low health. Will walk away. Again, the Dream Coil from Sumail making it hard for the catch. Oh, he's not going to make it though. Black's in with the toss. And they do end up getting the Nature's Prophet. So only losing the Warlock, getting the Fury in. That's a good trade for Faceless.
That Solar Crest, I want to say, saves his life there. Not for the evasion. Less so the armor, but the evasion, I think the Anti-Mage hits him a good extra, like 7-8 times. Not only does it do more damage, it gets him lower on mana. The Mana Void does more damage. It was a very value pickup of the Solar Crest, and we'll see if Arteezy feels a need to address it. I mean, the AM was largely picked up because, one of the big reasons is because it matches up well against Timbersaw, but at this point, you maybe focus more on objectives, and you say, well, MKB doesn't help take objectives necessarily. The BKB, the Butterfly may be better choices, and we'll buy the BKB for now, but we'll see where this game goes. Talking about control, Jabs, I think recognizing you can't rely on your supports this game to control anyone. Not because they're doing anything wrong, but because this Ricky Puck will just kill anyone they find. So Jabs is taking matters in his own hands. He's going into an Orchid, into Bloodthorn. He wants to be able to silence, control the Puck, control the Nature's Prophet, Anti-Mage, whoever it may be. He wants solutions of his own. And I don't blame him because this is a really rough... this is the kind of game where it's just miserable to be a Warlock or Earth Spirit. It's so hard to stay alive.
And just going for the easy, safe objectives, taking the shrines away from EG.
I mean, they get this Aegis. We'll see what kind of objectives they can get. Talking about all... I mean, kind of painting this vision that EG's in a really good spot. They're still down to Rax. They've now got to defend against an Aegis. SF is still a great sieging machine. Hasn't quite got his level 25 talent just yet, but has got the probably more important level 21 for the extra damage.
They've got the big ultimates. Chaotic Offerings back there and available. And as you said, we saw the music down bottom, get themselves a set of racks, so absolutely can go for it again here in the mid lane. Bloodthorn dropped onto Arteezy, forcing him to back up initially. And at the same time, Sumail jumping in on the backliners, trying to force Fel to scatter, and then Arteezy just commits it with the BKB. The Chaotic Offering coming back in return. Jabs as well pops his BKB with the Requiem. Arteezy trying to focus down. Blackie's falling incredibly low, but yet the cheese comes through in time. Arteezy has to blink away. Sumail will end up being able to burst down the Earth Spirit, but the only casualty so far in this fight, Nuts still alive, gets the dust out onto Zai, who tries to go for the smokescreen TP out. He's actually going to make it. Zai will live. Nuts taken down by the right click of Sumail as he picks up a double. Sumail just trying his best here for the team to make sure that they get something out of it, and thanks to him, they do pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, Jab still has Aegis, but without Warlock, Earth Spirit, and Faceless, I think just going to say, let's try again another day. We've got to push out this top lane, and that's the end of the push. CM buyback, not really a big deal for EG, and not really something that Faceless can really try and punish or think much of, so very good hold from EG. Didn't quite get the result they wanted as far as trying. They really tried to burst down that Tiny before he could pop the cheese, but some good defensive plays out of the Faceless side, keeping him alive.
And Sumail just with that talent, as we mentioned, and getting kills like that, but it's so rich. Refresher Orb, 3k gold on top. The money is just sailing into this boy's bank account.
Yep. He's going to have no problem at all. I mean, he's more or less 6 slot now. May look, I don't even know if you necessarily want to replace the Veil, maybe just slot it out here and there with like an E-Blade or a Hex. But you mentioned the possibility of Moonshards being pulled in. We'll be Arteezy queuing up the MKB. Kind of like it. Like the Solar Crest, if you go on Tiny, you get Solar Crest. It's really annoying. If you go on Timbersaw, he's got the evasion. So it feels like Arteezy's job in these fights is to, actually take down a Tiny or a Timbersaw, and he can't really do that with this Solar Crest in play right now. So
I've got to be a little bit careful here at the base. There is a crew wave on the bottom, removing that backdoor protection. And yeah, Universe TP straight in. They're looking for a bit of pressure. Dyers will fortify the base. So fortification now on cooldown for Faceless. We'll see if VG are able to get themselves back in and abuse this. They've got their eyes onto Ice at the moment. Universe, Crit, and Arteezy ready to go. They'll jump straight in with the Bloodthorn, Freezing Field as well. He's tanky. Is he tanky enough? With the Abyssal Blade, they'll have the control needed. He will commit the suicide, and at the same time, in the mid lane, Faceless.
Whoa.
They made the bigger play, getting both Sumail and Zai out.
That was the Silver Edge initiation. Black just goes charging in with a gem in hand and finds a big kill.
On XY, Boulder Smash onto Arteezy. Do they have enough control to bring him down? XY forces away the silence there just in time, but the Manta Stars available. Black doesn't quite get the avalanche, but he jumps forward, has the toss. There's the Bloodthorn silence as well. They'll kill Arteezy. Arteezy's down for 100 seconds.
Oh, let's say someone has to buy back.
Looking to TP out. Can he get out in time? He will. Will be able to get back, but a big kill there on the AM.
Yeah, immediate buyback. They recognize that one of those cores needs to buy back to defend and also apply split push pressure. Universe can't do it on his own. He's just going to get picked apart. Ice can push out the lanes and Boots to travel into the mid lane. So Puck buying back, not only does it help split push, but it puts this kill threat. You can't just push mid lane with 2 heroes. Those 2 heroes may get jumped by the Puck, get Dagon refresher. Suddenly you can find kills. So it's this threat on the map that suddenly the Puck provides, and they're trying to hold on to this Anti-Mage buyback as much as possible. But Faceless may be poised to take a second lane of Rax.
They've got Chaotic Offering. They didn't need to use it for that fight in the middle lane. And you mentioned obviously the strength of having the Puck alive, but at the same time, if he goes down a second time, here's Sumail. Faceless have potential, maybe even taking a second set of Rax. Sumail with the jump in. She's looking to Dagon jabs down. They're actually going to expend the Anti-Mage buyback here. They're worried about how much Faceless can get done, and they may still be able to. They'll bring the melee racks down low. Fortification comes out from EG. Look at the Dream Cost done onto 2. Arteezy, Abyssal Blade dropped here. The Chaotic Offering in response, though. Arteezy has to be careful. He's spot the BKB in the Manta. Turns towards a potentially easier target, but Ice is too tanky. Black hits the combo on Universe. Universe is out, jabs, surviving with the Hurricane Pike, but Zai jumps across. Will manage to finish off the kill, but the kill back is there in return.
Aegis. He didn't have the Aegis. He lost the Aegis like a good 15 seconds ago.
Oh, that's unfortunate for jabs.
Yep. Great timing from EG. I think they knew that. That's why they bought back and tried to force the fight there. Puck refreshed to try and like double Dagon the SF as well. I like what Jabs did. He preemptively BKB. He had to there because Puck was about to throw a second Dagon with the second coil and kill him off. But
I mean, looking at the right time, it must have been exactly, as you said, 10, 15 seconds after. So EG...
It's still expensive. That's both
it's true.
cores
AM's
buying back.
gone. We
Pucks.
saw a buyback coming out from Faceless, didn't we? XY, I believe. Was he the only one?
Yeah, I mean, that's, the support one's not the biggest deal.
For sure.
It can be if you're defending, but like when you're the ones pushing, like if having a buyback on a support like XY, he's not going to be able to buy back and Boots to travel in or anything. But I think fortune has really changed for Faceless off of giving Tiny the gem. Like, Tiny having the gem has been the big thing. He's the one shadowblading around, and he's constantly getting scattered because Ricky would see him with his gem. Like, if Ricky has a gem and Tiny walks past Invis, like, you know where Tiny's going. You don't try and kill him, but you have that information. But Black being able to hunt down Ricky and find kills off of this gem has been crucial for Faceless.
EG looking to get potentially very aggressive on this top lane.
This is ballsy considering buybacks are not available.
They know that there's no chaotic offering, and that may be what they want to fight around.
Ice, the master troll. Look at that backpack of his. Not the backpack, sorry, the items queued up on his timber saw. He's got a single branch. That's his next item, Odie Pixel.
There we have it. You know,
that's going to win you
something
the
to
Kiev
timber
major.
chain. So, you know, pop it down, head back, and then, you know, you've got a reliable way to get back up to the high ground.
I just love that he does this stuff knowing that we're going to see it too, you know? There's no practical benefit to doing this.
The GG branch queued up. Maybe it's a sign. Maybe not feeling confident.
No, it ensures a good game. That was the Dota 1 mantra.
That's a good look.
Buying one of these ensures that. Smoke up now. They're going to try to see what they can do. They do still have to have at least a hero addressing the lane pressure. And
there's a lot of money on Black as well, and he's yet to spend any of this kind of 6k that he has sitting in the bank.
Probably torn between like Boots of Travel or Ag Scepter, or BKB is the other big one.
Or Rapier.
On Tiny, I've
kill the AM, you know what I mean? Get your hands on him.
There's worse Rapier carries than
For
Tiny.
sure.
Not many.
Okay.
But there are some.
It's probably not going to happen.
And yeah, we'll see how things develop. No luck just yet. EG huddled up in their base. No one really showing. Only Zai out on the map, which is the way you want to play this.
Roach back up in less than a minute, and that certainly could be the focus for Faceless if they're able to keep control of this area of the map.
Like this from Jabs. He didn't have any HP regen, and now he's got the mask, and he's going to get Satanic on his Shadow Fiend. It felt like he's getting... The beauty of this puck when you're defending high ground is you spam Dagon on someone like SF on the front lines, and yeah, he's got BKB, but you force him, you get him down to half HP, and he can't really... He doesn't want to fight when he's half HP with a BKB, because AM may kill him, so having HP regen like a Satanic is going to make a big difference for his life against the constant Dagon spam coming out from this puck.
Oh, Black actually with the jump-in stun onto 2. Burst down the Crystal Maiden. Arteezy immediately getting himself out of there. Ice TP'd across, so look towards Samael. Unlikely to have the control. Needed a Samael indeed is able to blink out. That is CM down for 70. It is just a Crystal Maiden, but it's one hero down. You've got the numbers, and it is a hero as well that was doing a fair bit with the freezing field in these fights.
I think more importantly, you're like pushing high ground and there's no split push threat, and you're in your good position.
He pistoled himself with the Lotus Orb. Arteezy still will be fine. BKBs and Mantas trying to finish off Jabs. Again, the Lotus Orb's being laid down on Jabs, allowing him to keep himself safe. They'll kill Arteezy. I might be over. He's down for 100 seconds there. That awkward initiation from Arteezy. It's over. GG is called. EG tap out.
We
are
MVP
going
Lotus.
to a game 3, and just an awkward way to jump in. Yeah, the Lotus Orbs. Who was that from? That was Ice, wasn't it? The Master Troll himself. And just like that, bam. I mean, we see a lot of kind of games like this with an anti-mage where it's very kind of glass cannon-y at this stage, where one death, bam, it's over. A lot is resting on your shoulders. And just like that, the game slips through your fingers.
You know, that game ended unexpectedly, but it wasn't like anticlimactic. It was like, whoa, suddenly they went all in. You know, they don't have buybacks. I mean, EG in hindsight could have just given up a second lane of Rax. Like losing 2 lanes of Rax with AM, Puck, Nature's Prophet isn't going to lose them the game. But they probably also know that, hey, we give up this lane of Rax, we're going to give up our 3rd lane of Rax, because Mega Creeps probably is GG, and we're not going to have buybacks on these heroes for a while. Let's try and take a fight. And felt like a few fights they just were just a tiny bit too short of killing key heroes. Like they jumped the SF, he barely. Well, that time it was a low sword. They weren't close to killing. Previous times it was the Tiny. He survived the mana voids on like a fraction of HP. He gets the cheese off. Solar Crest worked really well this game to save Ice, to save his teammates. I mean, Ice played fantastic with the Lotus Orb, the Solar Crest
very,
usage.
very impressive. I mean, Black as well. I mean, even though he had this portion where he was struggling to find kills, he ends 15-1-7. It's a very solid Tiny performance. And even with the farm, it just goes to show gold doesn't necessarily win you games. Samael and Arteezy at the top in terms of net worth, but the players at the end of the day were just a little bit more well coordinated by Faceless.
The net worth graph was just like EG constantly getting bigger and bigger the entire game. Like, I mean, towards the end when they won that last fight, took Rax, it slipped down a little bit, but from like 15 minutes onwards, EG had a gold lead. But that's not going to win you the game. Faceless, they took objectives. They played the game better. I think EG definitely had ways to win that game, don't get me wrong, but Faceless found a few moments where EG was caught out, weren't split pushing lanes, and took racks off of it.
Impressive stuff from Faceless indeed, bringing this to a third game round the corner. 15-1 set.